Welcome to part 7 of Yellow by Aaron Beauregard. So Officer Thomas is now dead, and he just told Oliver that Officer Mooney, which is their chief, he's at the top, and he's organizing a lot of this stuff. They're in cahoots with Damien. So Oliver was on his own little stakeout. He was following Officer Mooney and Officer Briscoe, one of his rookies, learning their habits, learning their routine. He was on a 40-hour stakeout following Officer Mooney and Briscoe to an abandoned mill across town. Followed them into this underground portion of the mill where they found, or where Oliver found, that Officer Mooney and Briscoe had a cage full of trafficked women from Thailand, international. They shipped in a bunch of women internationally, and they kept them in cages for their own sick pleasure. They abused them, they tortured them, they made them fight each other to the death for their own entertainment. And Oliver entered the mill kind of a little far back of Officer Mooney and Briscoe. They were in the middle of picking out their girl for the day, and they were doing some pretty horrific things. And Oliver snuck down the stairs after them and just kind of hid around the corners and was sickened at observing what was going on. Now, Oliver's got some firepower on him, so he burst into the room, threatened the officers, who seemed to be unarmed at the moment, freed the women out of the cage, and locked the officers inside that cage that the women were being held in. These women were there for months, weeks, days, years even. So Oliver noticed that there was a language barrier between him and these girls, and he was trying to tell them that I'm not here to hurt you, I'm here to help you. Excuse me, ladies, I'm so sorry. I know I look a little terrifying with the scars and, my patched together face and everything. Do any of you speak English? One girl from Thailand says, I'm Mali, and I speak a little bit of English. Mali. Oh, I'm so sorry for everything that has happened to you. Can you tell the girls that I'm not here to hurt them and I'm here to help them? She turns to the rest of the crowd and speaks in her native tongue at them. And the women all started crying. They're like, oh my God, we're safe. Good, girls. Now, these pieces of shit right there, Officer Mooney and Briscoe, are terrible people. I'm gonna give you the amount of time to do anything you want with them, but I'm trying to find someone named Damien. Molly understood, and she communicated quickly and told him that, yes, Damien, we have heard of that name, but at the base of the mill, there is this boat where we were shipped in at, and there's one of Damien's cronies down there. That's who you're looking for, and that's the people that, captured us. Excellent. Thank you for telling. Now, in this abandoned mill, there's a wall full of weapons, like tools, pliers, chainsaws, spears, that Officer Mooney and Briscoe would use to taunt and torture the women. And some of the girls are like, you said we could do anything to them? Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I'll be here, and I've got weapons. I'll back you guys up. You're okay with it? Absolutely. What do you want to do? So all the women forced the two officers to get naked and afraid in this cave. They all went over to the wall of weapons, and they're all like, ooh, what do you guys want to do? Should we do the thing? Yeah, all right, we're going to do the thing. So they all grabbed spears and some form of sharp object, and they surrounded the cage, and they made Officer Mooney and Briscoe fight each other to the death while they poked and prodded at the men with the sharp object. They didn't want to do it. At first, the guys are like, no, we're not going to do it. We're officers of the law. We're not doing that. And after being stabbed repeatedly with a couple spears, they're like, all right. Briscoe, I'm sorry, but it has to be done. Officer Mooney, I will not hate you in the afterlife, but you're going down. So they both fought each other. Teeth, nails, feet. They went at each other. Blood everywhere. Fingers were coming off, ears were being ripped out, scalps were being, And then finally, Briscoe won. Violently won, with guts and blood all over him. Ha ha! I won! Yeah, be good for you, guy. Girls, yeah, how about it? They all killed him. They brutally murdered Briscoe while he was still locked in the cage. So after this little scenario was over, Oliver's like, okay, let me get your girls out of here. And let me find you some clothes first, because most of you were naked. So they managed to scrounge up some, fabrics and garbage bags, whatever was laying around, to dress these girls. All right, follow. So Oliver, guns a-blazing, led these terrified women out of the mill, and they walked down towards the pier that was just at the bottom of this hill that they were on. And there was the boat where they came in. Oliver went first. He went in and scoped out the boat. And he saw this follower of Damien who also looked kind of demonic, covered in tattoos and like had really weird long limbs and fingers, and he had like implants of horns and stuff. The scene happened really quick. The dude was abusing another woman who was already dead on the boat. Oliver wasted no time, shot, killed this guy, dumped him overboard, and let the girls go onto the boat. One of the girls just happens to be formerly worked on cargo ships before the traffic. Molly told Oliver their plan. So Shayna over there worked on cargo ships for years growing up. She knows how to drive this boat. We should be fine. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for saving us. Like, we owe our lives to you. And before they departed, all these women, cried and hugged him and, kissed his forehead and everything, just like, oh, you're the best. And they went off back where they came from. And Oliver's just like, you go, Glen Coco, you go. Now it's time to fuck shit up. So Oliver still had Officer Treadwell was the good cop that interviewed him in the hospital. Officer Treadwell pulled out his business card and called him from a payphone. Oliver called Treadwell. Hello? Have you ever been to the old mill? Officer Mooney and Briscoe are there. Why would I ever have a reason to go to the old mill? That thing has been closed for decades. Who is this? You know who I am. I'm just another doormat. Go to the old mill. You'll find them there. And their crimes. Click. Oliver hopped in his car and started driving away. And at that moment, flashing lights came on behind him, and an officer pulled him over. He's like, shit. Officer Price, a friend of Officer Thomas, immediately came up to the window, whipped out a stun gun, and stunned Oliver, knocking him out, and then he forced Oliver's body into the trunk. Price drove away. So Officer Price wasted no time. He delivered Oliver to Damien. We jump to the scene where we are now in this really horrific culty building. Oliver is pretending to be all knocked out because he was kind of coming to, and he was just like peeking out, getting a hint of everything. Officer Price is in front of Damien, and he's like, I got him. This is your guy. This is Oliver. I was at the old mill. I was there to find Officer Mooney, Briscoe, but motherfucker, he hacked him up. He killed them. The girls are gone. But dipshit parked too close, so I got his plates and I followed him. So there you go. There you go. It's, do I get a reward? Do I get the money? Damien's like, yeah, good job, guy. Yeah, this is the guy we needed. We got your reward. And Bootsy, Angel's brother, is still crucified on the cross in the room. Wasted no time. Damien hacked off Bootsy's head. Blood everywhere. Price is like, Jenna, the gothic shark teeth girl in the room. Damien sent Jenna to deal with Price. She bit his throat out. He dead. After these two people are dead, Jenna, Oliver, and Damien are left in the room. Damien's like, it's time for the orgy. I'm going to make a blood sacrifice. I'm going to go get the goats. You clean yourself up, darling, for the orgy. Then Damien leaves the room to go get these goats they just happen to have in this building. And then Jenna kind of like cleans up the room a little bit and is working on plugging a giant heating cauldron into the wall. It was like a hanging cauldron and like this heating thermal like metal element that's in the shape of a pentacle. And she's trying to plug this heating element in, and it's just not working. And then Oliver just kind of wakes up and he like sneakily sneaks around the corner, like hugs himself against the wall, and he's like eyeballing Jenna to make sure she didn't see him.